There we are.
Nope.
Who are you? Really?
Really? I am just a figment of your imagination.
Wow.
I am.
Hello, everybody. How you
Hello.
doing?
Hello.
Introductions. Loki
I-
fish?
Love it.
Hey, I finally made it to the annex. Nobody told me I had to go to Antarctica to get to it, though. That's kind of weird.
Hey,
It was on a need-to-know
everybody needs
basis.
to know where yeah.
Mhm.
You know, penguins and all.
Oh, wait. Wrong one. There we go.
I hate it when I click the wrong button.
Mm-hmm.
She
How
hates
is
it when
everybody?
when I touch the
Good
wrong
to see
button.
you, Loki.
Yeah,
We
happy
are
to be
doing
here.
Great.
Yeah, glad you're here.
Yeah.
Happy to see everybody here. And as the
Okay,
thumbnail
happy.
suggests, we're going to blast the flat earth apart in pretty much the way the intro
Yeah.
did.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Let's blow that shit up. Mm.
Create more flat Earth tears.
Mm. Oh yeah.
I
Let's-
drink them for
let's play it.
breakfast.
Oh, the
Let's play.
flat Earth
Okay,
tears make
here
me
we
so
go.
fucking horny. What? Never mind.
Well, the flat earth is the dumb.
Mhm. Oh no.
You're using
Uh-oh.
it that one.
By the way, he's sitting in prison right now.
Who?
Seriously?
ODD TV. hmm
For
I'm not sure, but I think it's
misinformation?
It's
That'd be
something he did
funny.
in his real life, I guess.
Oppositional defiance disorder. Well,
Yeah.
just be defiant when it comes to making sure you don't bend down for the bar of soap.
Yes.
There you go.
So where's the
Hey,
edge?
Demon and Sumami are in here. Welcome,
Hey
everybody.
guys.
How you doing?
Nice
Great
gals.
to see everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peoples of
Oh.
all genders.
And non-genders.
Who's
And
to
on-
say that there is an edge, and why assume there is one? Is it
Because it is.
Exactly,
uh-oh.
because there ain't an edge.
Yeah, we
I'm
call them
pretty on edge.
waterfalls.
Now over an edge. Come on.
I'm
Hey,
pretty
Mark.
on edge, so my trigger finger is itching. But there's no
We call them
fire.
waterfall.
Yeah,
We call them
Mark.
waterfalls and cliffs.
Yeah.
That's the edges we have on the earth.
The
Yeah, cliffs
last
for sure.
time anything like that was seen was when there was a giant windstorm 100 years ago at Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
are introduced
Yeah, it's true, huh?
to the
Oh my
idea
God,
of
look
the
at that
flat
picture.
Niagara Falls later. I
Earth, it's
think.
always depicted like this.
What the fuck?
That's Niagara Falls, isn't it?
If it was like
In
that,
the
we'd just
current-
be out of water. It would have ran off a long time ago, you idiots.
Y-
Yep.
We
Yeah,
do not have
exactly.
like big lakes and
Do
oceans.
they think
and
there's
stuff.
like, yeah, like it's a fountain where it just recycles and goes back and forth at the North Pole and then runs off the edge?
Yeah.
You know?
that-
Well,
I don't think that's how that works.
they do believe in magic. I mean, I
That's
got a
true.
video where they think that if they take and they shave an orange so they make it lighter, that since it's lighter, it should fly upwards instead of still drop.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So that's why it claims it's denser, so it sinks.
Rumble is just full of the absolute stupid. And
Yeah.
guess what? Every flat earth video, they're advertising for Orange Jesus or Newsmax.
Oh, I'm so shocked.
Yeah.
What's Orange Jesus?
The Trump.
Oh,
You know, what's funny with that orange thing is Flat Soda, when he peeled his orange, he left some of the pulp on it and stuff. So it
Mm.
floated at first, and then when he cleaned it off, he pushed it down. Now
Mm.
Penny did a video on that. When he cleaned the orange, he cleaned every bit of that pulp off of there. And yes, then it did sink the first time. So
Shocking.
The most accepted
I know,
model,
huh?
Antarctica is not a continent, but a 360-degree landmass made up of ice that holds the
would that
oceans
still make
within.
it a continent?
When we look at a Gleason's map from 1892, that states at the top that it's scientifically and practically correct, as is.
as it is, meaning it even says in the patent, globe Earth projection. Just
Yeah,
globe
you
Earth
noticed how it's
distortion.
We see this
I don't know,
Antarctic
round?
ice rim. The Gleason's map is basically an azimuthal equidistant projection,
No, it's
which
made
can be
for
traced
time.
back to the year 1000.
It's a latitude,
The
uh,
map is
time and latitude chart, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
what,
yeah,
yeah.
For that, check Tiny Captain's last video.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Also, the only thing on this map that's accurate is the distances from running north to south.
Right.
Everything else is fucked up.
I mean, look at Australia.
sorry,
for
where's
goodness
Australia?
sake. Yeah, it's wider than the U.S.
Where?
Top left.
At the 11 o'clock position, as we're looking at it.
Yeah,
Australia.
11 or 10
10
o'clock.
10
Yep.
Oh,
10 o'clock. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
But look how long it is on that because it's distorted.
It almost looks like one of my dildos. But never mind.
It's huge.
Also, an
Yeah.
official map of the United States Geological Survey, the USGS, and the official logo for the United Nations. The oldest known globe in the world is from 1492. This is something you need to keep in mind because many people argue that the azimuthal equidistant map is just a flattened out version of the globe,
It is.
when in fact the globe is just a rounded version of this true world flat map.
No.
Oh my
No,
God. No, it
Dum-dum.
didn't.
Oh, I wish that I had actually done more prep because as the 3D modeling, you're familiar with UV unwrapping and
I actually have one that
Yeah, it
somebody
wouldn't
made
even-
for, and Dr. Bob Science Guy has it where it goes from the flat to the globe
Hmm.
and back out again. It shows you exactly.
Yeah. And it wouldn't even, if you took it apart
Wait,
like
no.
that and laid it flat, it wouldn't look like that
No, it would not look
Yeah.
like that
at all.
And like, because the YouTube tutorial that I'm following for Blender had a very, very good way of showing you how that is.
Right.
We've all had a Santa Claus, chocolate Santa Claus, right? Or something similar. That's wrapped in a paper.
or try to unwrap an orange and have the peel kind of like lay it flat and
Right.
try to have the peel resemble anything. Something's got to give.
It would not be round like that for sure. No.
That map came first and it has the ability to convert into a globe without any problems whatsoever, then that should tell you a little bit about how this globe deception was achieved. Now, back to if there is an edge or not. There is no proof that there is an edge past the Antarctic ice wall, but it is speculated by many that perhaps the plane that we live on is either extremely expansive or it's possibly endless. In these two scenarios, it would be.
And they show the ice
Wow.
shelves around Antarctica when they do this, as that's proof of the ice wall.
Yeah, that's an ice wall.
Mm-hmm.
If you got a big ship, you put it against
What
it and
the
step
heck
on.
does this guy think that the entire thing is guarded by penguins to keep him? Oh wait, didn't I give it away?
You
Oh,
did.
shit.
You did.
Oh, wait, move on. I can see the base. Move on. Take this.
That's right.
image
I
of
see a little
the-
base over there.
Be logically assumed that more land is being hidden from the general public.
You know where they get that from, right?
Mhm.
Admiral Byrd, there's more land beyond the South Pole. Well, duh. If you look where the South Pole is on Antarctica, there's
Yeah,
a whole
from
United States
America's view.
sized land beyond it. The rest
Yeah,
of
and
the
that's from-
continent.
Yep.
That's viewed from America.
Yeah.
And like
Yep.
from America, seen like beyond the South Pole, that's hardly explored.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
forgetting what continent, well, not what continent, what hemisphere, western or eastern, is McMurdo Station in? McMurdo Station.
I don't know.
Is it Western? Because it's down, isn't it down
Because
below
like there,
South Africa?
yeah, yeah. Well, it's actually, I think it's in the Pacific. It's near the Pacific anyway.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
The thing is, there's like, you have McMurdo Station, you have the South Pole,
East.
but to the if you're just looking from McMurdo Station looking south.
Yeah.
I should have loaded the map.
Yeah.
But anyway,
It
there's
just says
things on
Southern
different
Hemisphere
sides of the
winter.
map.
Right.
Oh, why does it not show?
How precise, Brainless.
Wiki.
Yep. You know it.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I need to clip this for later because I need to do that recruitment commercial.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. And they even have the choppers flying in front of the ice wall. Hell yeah.
Of course.
In a 1954 interview with Admiral Richard E. Byrd, an American naval officer who specialized in exploration,
There you go.
he had this to say.
Oh, wait.
But strangely
looks
enough,
like a-
there's left in the world today an area as big as the United States that's never been seen by a human being. And that's beyond the pole on the other side of the South Pole from Middle America. And
From
it's,
Middle America.
I think it's quite astonishing. It should be an area as big as that unexplored.
Implying that
And
You
wait,
notice that
because
he's not actually showing like a map of the real Antarctica, so you could get an idea of there's one
No.
side of the continent,
Right.
there's the South Pole, and then there's the other side.
Yeah.
there is more.
What?
Why do that? That would defeat his purpose.
You want people to have information like
I'm
facts?
going to be
Come
properly
on.
informed. Pfft. What are you
Can't
talking
we just
about?
make videos and guess? That's what
Mhm.
I do.
Supposed to accept what he says
And-
on face value. Come on.
Past Antarctica.
I can show it.
If that
Like a
uninhabited
PDF.
land was on a globe, it would be in the Indian Ocean.
No.
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 What?
That
The hell?
land would be.
Oh,
It would be just north
wait,
of the South Pole,
what
but
does he
on the
think?
opposite side of the continent
What
that America is on.
Right.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh.
A recent discovery of an old Buddhist map in a newspaper
guy's
from
a
1907
winner.
No, it's not. I don't
seems
think
to
that's a
support-
Buddhist map. I think that's something a map from some sort of book, fictional book. He's
Yeah,
just
it looks
claiming
like
it's a
it,
Buddhist.
doesn't
They're
it?
just claiming it's Buddhist probably, but I don't know.
And even if it was, Buddhists can be wrong too.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
Oh,
shit.
and by the way, I just opened up Google Earth. So if you want to,
Oh,
have
you
a
can
look.
Oh, that's
share it.
cool.
You got that set up. Yeah, let's do it.
So
Google
funny.
Demon said some researchers are mapping some researchers are mapping Antarctica by drone
By
soon.
drone soon. That'll be
Yeah,
nice.
That's
This-
awesome.
That's
yeah.
cool.
Oh, that's cool. Like
And also,
this,
there's that boat race that goes
America-
around that's happening this year too. That goes around Antarctica. That yacht race.
if
It's happening this year.
McMurdo Station is where you see that deep
Yeah.
cut right
Yes,
there.
that's
That's
McMurdo.
McMurdo Station.
yeah,
That's the American base.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
you see the South Pole right in
Yeah.
the middle. And on
Yeah,
any side of the South Pole, you have an area that's bigger than the lower 48.
Yes.
Easy.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. No, like you said, like opposite from America. So that will be about this area, and even if the flat Earth model was true and there was land beyond there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey Al, and like beyond, if you would have landmass as big as the US, beyond that, then it would be a very small slitter of landmass around it, because if you go all the way around the Earth like that, that would be bigger than Merca. But like, where would you say, like in the Indian Ocean? So they're saying it would be around here. Like what? Why would it be all the way all the fuck over there? Like what?
And he was talking about the lower 48, and he was talking about America before Alaska became a state, when it was still a territory, I think.
That's about around
Yeah.
that time. I think you're correct.
Yeah, I mean, I think Alaska and Hawaii hadn't even been states yet at that point.
Because there was
Yeah.
like in when they had Happy Days, they always in the show they always made sure there was a 48
Mhm.
star flag.
Right.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I was alive for that. It's just so weird to me. But anyway.
Mhm.
But like
All
that,
right.
this kind of puts it into perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah, it
That's
really
something
does.
that's something Fleurs
Yeah, look at
have
that.
trouble with. like, and
Yeah,
like
there's
this
Africa.
like
There's
every
South America, yeah.
this is America and Canada.
Yes.
Like
That's all of
around
North
there
America
is-
right
is
there.
Like
Mhm.
that's like about where the
Yeah, the line's
that
right
would be.
about through there. Yep.
yeah. So and like these, like if
Yeah,
you
so
go
you
here,
could-
like this fits reality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could literally put
And
5
I
United
think-
States inside of that area.
And I
Yeah.
think in terms of space, that Alaska is, if you put Alaska on top of Texas, it would be covering more than just Texas.
Yes.
It's huge.
Well,
Because
maybe-
Alaska is
wanna go
the
back?
largest state. I think Texas is the second largest state. And then you got California.
Mark Caesar said puts it into flurfspective.
Perspective, right?
Hey,
Perspective.
Texas.
Good to
Oh
see you,
yeah.
Mark.
Like look. Now we
Mhm.
got the
Hi, Al.
Like
Well,
hell
tell the
yeah,
old
we
lady
yeah.
to loosen the handcuffs and never mind.
Well, that would be about the U.S. Yeah, not extremely much bigger, but like, because like
Still,
if you
it's
look at
huge.
this- if
And
you
there's
look at-
gonna
if you-
be two Blender gurus on this channel soon.
Nice.
So
you. I
we're
would never
going
be
to.
guru.
Mip it.
So we're
Hey, Mippin.
Hey, Mippet.
one thing you're going to instantly notice when you've done enough 3D is that you can never see half of a sphere, believe it or
Oh,
not.
Mipit's
No,
trying to
no.
You
get
need to
in.
be. Oh, let's
There's
do
a link in the
this.
Discord.
She said knock knock.
Oh,
Hi, Mipit. How you doing?
Mips.
Hey, Mip.
hello.
Oh, can't hear you.
Hello.
Can you hear me now? Okay,
Oh yes.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
my microphone's a bit weird. It's got to be in exactly the right spot. So how
Oh,
you
you
all
found it.
doing?
We're doing
Doing good.
How are you?
Pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I'm better this week. I've had a few shitty weeks where I've
Yeah.
headaches and just real life in general. But yes, I'm having a good day. So
Good. So good to see you.
That's awesome. It's great to have you. It's great to hear your voice.
Yeah.
It's great to hear
Yeah.
everyone's voice.
yes, well, I heard Antarctica, Australia, big fat flat, and I thought, oh my god.
And that's all you needed, and you knew what we were doing.
All I needed. So, yes, I can.
Yeah, they were showing a flat Earth map that had Australia like 3 times the size of what it is,
Yeah, we're talking about how that was so out of proportion.
Yes,
and
I'm-
Africa
I've
was
driven
like
across the
huge.
country, so
That-
it's definitely not that big. I promise.
That map is as out of shape as I am.
Yeah.
I think it was. Wasn't it longer than or as long as the United States is wide?
Yeah,
longer.
some-
It was longer, actually, if
Yeah.
you look at it.
So
Yeah.
probably
like
more like
almost double
4,000,
the
5,000
size.
miles
Yeah.
wide.
It was
Yeah.
almost. It was basically Australia almost doubles.
Double
Yeah,
the width.
pretty
Yeah,
much.
double the width.
Yeah. So let's just be safe. We'll say like 5,000-6,000 miles across is how big they had Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've driven across the country, and it's definitely not that big. Trust me.
Yeah, no, yes, Mark, it was skinnier too, but it was really long. Like overly long.
Yeah, well, we're sort of
shoot that.
about as big as the US sort of thing.
Yeah, you're about 3,000,
Yep.
which give or take what the US is. Yeah.
Yeah.
The idea
Oh
of
yeah,
a
we
vast
were
plain
doing a
with
video.
much
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, I'm catching up.
more land.
Where does the sun go if the earth is flat?
That's what I'd like to know.
Well, the sun neither rises nor sets, but travels in a clockwise circuit from east to west, and only appears to rise and set due to perspective. The sun disappears at the vanishing.
So,
Yeah.
if the range that flat Dubay says that the sun is 3,000 kilometers above the surface,
Wrong.
and if no,
Nope. Even
Oh,
even for flat
he's
no,
wrong.
even for flat Earth, he's still wrong. Because if you triangulate it using 1 degree is 60 nautical miles, it's 3955 miles above the Earth.
In reality, flat Earth doesn't have an east and west, does it? It's
No,
all
just has
south.
south, pretty much just south. Yeah.
There is
Wow,
no
I can't even
east
wrap my head
and
around
west.
And then see, the one thing about this is they don't get this perspective. That's like 2D on paper artistic perspective.
Yeah,
In real life, a 3D model perspective is not like that because you're seeing your field of view is a lot more on the sides. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Not everything's going to go to the center of your vision.
Well,
So-
And your sun's still never gonna go below the
no.
horizon.
Oh
and
gosh, no.
and why does light like travel millions of light years from space, but it kind of just gets tired after a few thousand
Yeah, it just kind of goes.
kilometers.
All the photons go. I can't do it anymore. Just drop down the ground or something. And all of a sudden you have night.
I'm tired. I'm gonna take a nap.
I'm tired. I can't do this anymore. And just drop. I
Now,
mean,
now you're all mistaken because there is no such thing as space. Those are all lights.
but the other thing too
on
is
a big screen.
But if what they're saying is correct, and the sun goes around it like the dial on an old rotary phone, then you would never not have sun. It would never be dark.
Yeah.
The sun would just move into a different angle
Well, it
constantly.
might be dark where you are, but you would always be able to see the sun.
Yep.
but the thing is with the sun
Okay,
is
touche. But still, they're talking about the sun going like disappearing. It'll never disappear then.
no, it would never disappear. It would never go to hit the horizon. It would always stay
Right,
way above
exactly.
the horizon.
Yeah.
All the time.
And even if it goes away from you, you can't see the sun anymore. The light's still going to be showing in some. We're going to have twilight. We would never have night. It'd be twilight.
Exactly. Thank you. Like a
Right.
dusk twilight
Point
kind
of
of thing.
human
Yeah.
in perspective on the horizon where the ground meets the sky. And since the sun is not 93 million miles away, I repeat,
Yes, it is.
not 93 million miles
Yes,
away,
it is.
but
Yes, it
much
is.
closer and smaller. The
No.
light
You notice how his
emanating from
sun
the
doesn't
sun
change
only
size?
illuminates
No,
about half
exactly.
of the flat plane at once as it makes its daily journey.
Oh my god, that's so stupid. I
And
used
right
to
here,
look
if
at
you
that
look,
and tell you
There's no solar
it's
filter
pitch
on that.
black. It's
Yep.
pitch black at night in
Mhm.
the country. There's
Yes.
no sun. There's no twilight. That is literally impossible.
Pitch black at night, and you can see a hell of a lot more stars than you can in the city.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
think about
I
how
grew up in
far
the
the sun's
country.
rays go. It's not like they
Mhm.
just stop short of that
Right.
side of the earth.
No.
It's bullshit.
And you have nautical, there's nautical twilight, there's
There's
Lucky.
civil, nautical, and astronomical.
3 different phases of it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Excuse me.
That thing said looks like it's coming at you, doesn't it? And I'm like, yeah, you're also on a shot on a mountain that's like 15,000 feet above sea level. You
And
know,
don't
like
forget
that's
glare,
it's
right?
a whole different point of view.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I shot
I
it.
should have.
I shot a video, just messing about with the flat earthers on Facebook. They were talking about, how the sun shrinks and how glare has nothing to do with it.
Oh,
So I took my
God.
camera on auto exposure, held a solar filter over the lens, and then moved the solar filter. So in a matter of seconds, the sun goes from this tiny little disc to filling up the entire screen, then back down to this tiny little disc. And it was like, no, what was that about exposure not having anything to do with it?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't think the sun has glare either. It's like, that's the size of the sun. It's like, no, it's not. It's very bright light. You're going to have glare in your face,
Yeah.
Mhm.
You're pretty right there.
Mhm.
Example of changing the intensity of the glare for use in.
What's underneath the flat
Hold on a
Earth?
second. His whole example of the sun going over flat Earth. What's funny is when you actually look at what the daylit area is for winter time. The sun goes around the night side
Right.
to hit Antarctica on the opposite side of the
Yeah.
hit the ice
Yeah,
on the opposite side. It's so funny.
Yeah.
And not to mention, there's probably Antarctica where it does become daytime for a little bit of time, constantly, for days on end.
And
You were
hello,
talking
Purple.
about McMurdo Station earlier on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
you get 3 people, one in South Africa,
Mhm.
looking south towards McMurdo. You've got someone in Australia looking at McMurdo.
Right.
You've got someone in South America looking at McMurdo,
Mm-hmm.
which is all south.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
They
there's
see the
3 McMurdos
constellations.
on the flat Earth then.
But wouldn't they also see the constellations slightly offset from each other?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Again,
it's funny how they
again. Let me reference our good friend Tiny Captain's last video,
Sure.
because that was
Mm-hmm.
what his video was all about. So,
But it also calls the question: why do the people in Australia, South Africa, and South America all see the southern pole star on that flat Earth
Yeah.
map? They never would see the south. They would not see the same stars.
no, because they wouldn't be looking the same direction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's a very brief window in the dead of winter. It's like a day or two
Mm-hmm.
that you could be at all 3 of those locations. In one place it's sunrise, the other place is sunset, and the other
Mhm.
place it's midday.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they're on opposite sides. It's like, so how does that work?
Right.
Yeah, but like
Exactly.
the fact that if you have a local sun, like if they show the sun on a flat Earth, they always show northern hemisphere winter.
Yeah,
Because
and then they also
northern hemisphere summer just doesn't fucking work.
and they also say the sun changes from one tropic to the other, but that means when it goes to the southern tropic, it's a bigger circle. So how does it not have to? Why is it going
How does it
faster?
speed up? Yeah,
It
how
should
does
be
it speed
speeding up majorly to keep that 15 degrees per hour constantly.
Yeah, it's that's what it is.
It's here.
Yeah.
A big.
Oh, 401's got a mic issue. Hold on.
Ooh, mic issue, mic issue.
This is obviously an unanswerable question since the assumed edge has never been known to be reached. But many people suppose that whether the Earth is round or flat, that either way, it still must be floating in the middle of outer space. But the idea of outer space goes out the window with the round Earth theory. Many religious texts support an immovable Earth that
Yeah, they're an immovable object.
When it's immovable, it has nothing to do with the Earth at all. I've looked at all those scriptures. They're all about like a spiritual movability. It's not an actual physical movability. Yeah.
We all know it's turtles all the way down.
That's right. Yep.
The
They
Earth
always bring
isn't
that
floating,
immovable
it's
Earth.
falling.
No,
There you
no,
go,
no, no,
Mark.
no.
Yeah, we're just endlessly falling. Yep.
We're falling
God,
with
these people
style,
are
as
nuts.
Buzz Lightyear used to say. I said.
Well, which is weird because one of their explanations for gravity is that the Earth is constantly accelerating upward.
Oh yeah.
If you talk to
That's
my
true.
crazy fucking ex-brother, he'd tell you that waters above means, because waters is people, that it would be the people going to or in heaven is waters above.
No, the people are the fish in the water, right?
Huh?
The people are the fish for the fishermen, right? Not the waters.
I mean, the waters above could also be the clouds too, if you think about it that way.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, really, it
You
could.
know, having the
Yeah,
reading that he had is a lot of it was weird, and I don't think God's a super alien.
Well, how high
I mean,
up
it makes
is heaven?
No,
God being a super alien would make more sense than what the Christians say.
That's true.
But it still doesn't make any sense.
No.
Even we being AI made by God
Hmm.
in a simulation would make more sense.
Yeah.
Because aliens would literally have to be able to like time travel in order to traverse, the universe, galaxy, whatever.
All the distances.
that
Yeah,
they're-
exactly.
They would have to be
Mhm.
able to time travel, and we pretty much know that that's impossible to do. So
Mhm.
here we are.
Well, what
Because
actually
if it was
happens
possible,
with
we'd already be doing it.
what happens with relativity, right?
Mhm.
You wind up experiencing a short time relative to other people outside your frame of reference. So you could like travel the distance of the galaxy with the people inside the spacecraft in a human lifetime. However, it's still you'd have to be damn close to the speed of light, or else the relativistic effects would not be strong enough for you to do it. But the radiation that you would get just from the space gas on your craft would kill you. It would be really, really tough.
You know,
As its
even as a
foundation.
kid, I wondered if that was the explanation for the Rip Van Winkle story. That he didn't go into the Elf Mound, it was actually a spaceship. And they took him back to their planet, traveling almost the speed of light, and then brought him back.
Oh, like he was abducted? Yeah, okay.
Well, so, and, that's why then for him, it seemed like it was only one night, but for all the people he left behind, it was like 20 years.
Right.
Jeez.
Well, see, that's the unpublished manuscript. He tried to get that published, and everybody laughed at him, so he changed the
Right.
story.
Right.
Yeah.
On which it is laid, and its pillars by which it is supported. We simply don't know, but we do know that the Earth is obviously fixed in place, as we can tell by our everyday experience of non-movement. What we see in the sky.
God.
Because they don't get conservation of momentum.
No, because our bodies
Scales of
shut
things.
off stuff that we don't need to take in.
No, it's because we're on Jenga poles. And the gods are all playing a big fat game of Jenga with us.
Right.
So we're fucked if someone fucks up.
No, a really good example for that actually is chewing gum. Chewing gum does not lose its taste. It's your brain that thinks like, yeah, I've tasted that.
Oh,
Move
I
on.
gotcha. Yeah.
Now,
Chewing gum does not lose its
been-
taste. And it's the same with like the rotation. If we would always feel the rotation of the earth, like we'd be fucked.
Well, that's the thing. They think it's like we live like on the gravitron, that we should be like being thrown backwards or something, and everything should be thrown backwards.
It's
with
so
centrifugal force.
slight. It's so slight. Basically, every other force that we encounter is greater. And I've been on a plane in December, right? So when there's no turbulence, you can walk around the plane. You can eat.
You feel like you're not moving, right?
food. You feel like you're not moving because you're in the same reference frame as everything else. And that's why, even though the Earth is traveling real fast around the sun and it's rotating, 15 degrees per hour. Ooh, about half
but
the
also-
speed of the hour hand of a clock.
Yeah.
You don't
And
feel it.
also, we do not feel motion. We feel change in motion.
Yeah, we feel acceleration and
Yes.
deceleration, right? And they don't like this one, but the Epic Discovery where it had the moon transit. You can literally see over a 5-hour period. You see the Earth rotate. You literally see it rotating.
Oh, those who
but
have the
they claim that's fake CGI.
those who have the telescopes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you notice this little irritating thing, right? Where you try to focus in on a star and then it moves.
Yeah.
You try to focus in on the moon and it moves ever so slightly.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Rip.
Yeah, that if you want to get a good picture of a star, you have to have one of those, like, motorized tripods that keeps
That
turning
tracks
it
it.
slightly.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
skies above
Exactly.
are illuminated objects making circles around us just as it appears. Whatever this place may be, it's the center of all we survey. Some say that the earth is the floor of the universe. In the ancient Hebrew conception of the universe, we are surrounded by the waters above and the waters below.
Okay, but he was showing the stars. But can you now grab a video from the South Pole? Or the Southern Hemisphere? Please?
Well, thing is, like, the southern hemisphere basically fucks up any concept that the flat earthers have, because where's Polaris?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like that is for me like a flat earther. Okay, yeah, it's silly. But if you're a Southern Hemisphere flurf, your magnitudes above the stupid of a regular flurf.
Well, and then they never really clarify, how do the sun, the moon, and the stars move? What mechanism causes that?
Yeah.
Well, they're hanging under the dome, and the whole dome, it's a projection, right?
But how they spin. There's no consistent answer for that. Something there's this great projector in the North Pole or something, or there's, or they just do it because that's how it was made. That's the only explanation you get. Some electromagnetism.
I know how it works.
Yeah, not realizing
Leviosa.
If it's electromagnetism, the energy, the mechanism to create energy for that would be massive.
And
let's not forget,
we would
right?
be able to measure it.
Exactly. We would be able to measure it. Mm-hmm.
No, we wouldn't be able to measure it. It would probably kill us.
Yeah. The EMF field alone, would kill us.
Okay, what if the dome is magnetic? And like the sun and the moon are like magnetic balls that are just riding around on the inside of the dome.
One's in north and one south, like they have the different poles. Interesting.
I need to find the next time we do flat Earth, I will try to bring a calculation Mike Bertelsen did as to the strength of the material that would be needed for a fucking dome.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I saw those. I saw those calculations. It was absurd.
Did anybody else notice that he went from I'm going to try to fight this scientifically right into my
religious
religion?
Yes.
Yeah. The scientific part was very short-lived.
The deepest hole ever drilled into the Earth was a total of about 7.5 miles. The very core of the Earth is nothing more than wild speculation, if not another malicious lie.
No, it's not.
So what's under the Earth? That remains.
That's not. There's
calculations.
It's called P waves and S waves to determine that.
No, Mom. I told you before, I don't do P.
Oh, I'm sorry.
A mystery to us all. But another thing that you can research is what's inside the Earth. Multi-billion-dollar deep underground military
Oh my
bases
god, and
known
then they
as
show
domes.
a video game.
Oh my goodness. Like, supposedly Resident Evil is now authoritative.
Oh yes!
And domes are deep underground military bases, according to them.
DUMBs, right?
Good that they only.
And then if you notice, he doesn't explain any further on that.
And boats
He just
disappearing
stops.
over the horizon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
This
was
is
not an
also
explanation.
due to
That was a
human
segue.
perspective.
Yeah.
They don't go over the horizon. They go into the horizon, moving beyond the limit of our vision and past the vanishing point.
No,
But the
there's
ships
no
and boats
vanishing
are
point.
easily
That's
brought
an
back
artistic
into view
term,
with the
you
paragonal.
dummy.
If they're going to the vanishing point, then how come, like, when they're the tall-masted ships, you can still see the sails, but you can't see the ship?
Now you're spoiling it for him.
That doesn't count, Purple. Just not those kind.
Yeah, don't. Yeah. And like that fact, obviously, is is greater the closer you are to the horizon, and the higher up you go, the effect is less.
And
Oh yes,
someone's
I
mic
know
has a
I know
lot
my
of
verb arguments.
No, it's compression. It
telescope,
has to do with compression and
any camera
angles.
with a good zoom lens.
Excuse me. Oh yeah, but at some point.
And if you notice, he's showing things that are not beyond the horizon right there.
Yeah, this one is just barely on the horizon.
Barely on there. Mm-hmm.
But the other one was clearly in front of.
Clearly in front of the exactly.
Wouldn't it be fun? And we've seen this many, many times.
Yeah.
When they're like zooming into something like that,
Mhm.
and then there's a sail which is visible, but the ship is not.
Yeah. There's actually several videos out there where it's zoomed in and you can see the ship going. You can see the ship going sinking over the horizon. Or there's one where it's coming back at you and getting bigger. You see more of it as it's coming towards you.
Well, that's why before we had radar, that the ships had the crow nest on the tallest mast.
That's right.
Because if you were 50 feet above the water, you could see further.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Would you notice he's also only got? They're only using videos of ships that are going along the horizon from
Sideways.
his perspective.
Running
None of them
parallel
are going
to the
away directly away from him. They're just going east to west of his view.
Yep.
Right. Exactly.
A great question to ask yourself is why can't we see noticeable curvature from 120,000?
Ooh, this
Okay,
video.
does
I have a
everyone
copy.
notice-
I have a copy
This
of this
one?
video, the uncut.
Mhm.
Yep, the uncut version.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do a lens distortion map across over the frame,
Yeah.
what ends up happening is once the horizon, the center of the horizon is just below center, it's
Yeah.
actually still curved, and it's
Yes.
curved, and the curve is an exact match for the lens that they use for the distortion map.
Mm-hmm. And you can see on
And
this
the-
one, you can see that antenna, it's slightly curved going up.
Yep.
Yeah.
And in the same video, if the horizon is above center line,
Mm-hmm.
it's curved upwards.
Yes.
So yeah,
Well, even from this image, I can see that
It's
on
curved.
the edges, it's a little higher
concaved a
than the
bit.
center.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But
he's
many
literally
people
taking it
claim
like
that
slow
the
motion
supposed
right there.
curvature can be seen from the ground by watching boats. It doesn't make sense.
Yes, it does.
That's the whole thing. It doesn't make sense.
And what about all of the pictures of the Earth?
G.
They are all clearly computer-generated images. They claim
Even the one from 1976 when computers could barely do Pong.
Yeah, that's what I was
there's
talking
The
about.
72 blue marble is
Yep.
an actual photograph.
But
yeah.
But that is the computers that they told you about that could barely do Pong. Like the
Right.
computers we have now is what the government, what the deep state had back then. Like, don't you remember? Like back when everybody was still playing Pong, we were already playing much more advanced games.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Was I supposed
Well,
to say that?
Anybody remember the last movie, The Last
No.
Starfighter?
Yep.
All the effects
No,
on there
that's-
were CGI. The whole movie was pretty much CGI. Most, with space shots.
Yep.
And how realistic that looked.
Well,
That they actually
that
had
was
not
the
built
story
any
we did
practical
put
models.
out.
yeah. There's a
No.
flat earther that issued a $15,000 challenge
Mhm.
for photos of Earth that are not CGI.
Yeah.
And let's see, Toon linked him to the NASA scan site of the negatives, and
I think
No
Simon
comment.
Dan too.
and my reply was photos of 50-year-old slides
Yeah.
that I had of Earth from space that were made from NASA's actual NASA's master copies. And weeks have passed and
Yep.
nothing.
What about the V2 rocket in 46 that went up and showed Earth's curve?
Well, see, how I approached it was this. Any photo that you see, any picture you see on the internet, that's digital. That could be manipulated and stuff like that. But actually having silver halide chemical process film in hand. So how do you CGI film? Oh, wait, you don't.
Then they also don't forget that the thing he's putting up right now, the video, that's technically CGI.
Yeah.
So
as soon
this
as it's
picture from
digital,
Apollo
it's CGI.
17 in 1972 is real, and they also claim that the 2015 epic Earth picture is real.
Because weather changes and different times of year and different distances and
different angles, different side.
But NASA employee Robert Simon gave us a glimpse of how they do it when he shared his experience
that
of
was a
creating
2012 one, though.
in 2002.
Or
He is now
2002?
called Mr. Blue Marble.
That was for the
He was
iPhone image, right?
interviewed and on record stated.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because it has to be.
And they go on to explain how exactly it was done with strips of data and then stitched together.
Yeah, it was real images stitched together.
next time I do a flat Earth stream, I actually have some animations of how you get, like, it looks like the cloud stamp. Because let's say you have a series of satellites. You have the weather pattern traveling at maybe 25 miles an hour, and one satellite travels around the Earth. The Earth travels spins underneath it. So the next time it comes back around to the same spot, the weather system has moved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the time the satellite does one orbit, the clouds are going to have shifted a bit depending on how strong the winds are.
Right.
The last time anyone took a photograph from above low Earth orbit that showed an entire hemisphere, one side of the globe, was in 1972 during Apollo 17. NASA's Earth Observing System, EOS, satellites were designed to give a checkup of Earth's health. By 2002, we finally had enough data to make a snapshot of the entire Earth, so we did.
In 2002,
See right there, he
Blue Marble
explains it, and he still is in denial.
But also, he also says, in the same thing, that the photo has been made at least once.
2.0.
Well, and
NASA's
and he was just saying that 2002 was the first time that they could make one. So how does he explain the ones that the Apollo trips took back in the 60s and 70s?
Right.
Rob Simon made this. Simon's job.
Though I do have to share this, because we were talking about the deep state earlier.
Right.
Look at the penguin and figure out why the men in black dress the way they do.
It's primarily taking data and making pictures out of it.
That's what this is. A composite of data sets from several different instruments translated into a picture.
So we actually had to take clouds out.
They stashed the clouds for later, went onto the ocean. That came from an instrument that measures phytoplankton in the sea.
Where it was low, I colored it dark blue because they're low mostly in mid-oceans. And then where it's a little bit higher, it was like a little bit brighter green.
Then add the clouds back in.
There's a small problem with it because there's a very slight gap in between each orbit.
So some of those are painted on.
It is photoshopped, but it's has to be.
See, total explanation right here.
Perfectly good explanation.
Perfectly good explanation.
But speaking of photos from space and penguins, do you know how they estimate the size or the number of penguins in a colony?
Satellites.
By measuring how large of an area of the ice has skid marks on it.
Oh, that's true, huh?
How much brown ice there is what tells them.
Wasn't there a seller that actually saw a
crapping on it.
penguin colony as well?
Yeah, well, they've been getting, over the years, better cameras that
Right.
can get a finer resolution. But
Right.
Isn't Antarctica made up of a third of penguin pee? I'm pretty sure I read that
Penguin
somewhere.
poop? Penguin
Well,
poop?
Well, pee and poop, I guess.
Mhm.
Every drop of water has been recycled on this planet billions of times.
Yeah.
So regardless of what you're drinking right now, at one time that was dinosaur piss.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Exactly.
That's
And most
true.
of it probably has been human piss.
There was another layer to sort of simulate the atmosphere.
And then there's this little bright spot.
It's called the specular highlight. So it's the reflection of sunlight off of water.
Those are the pieces, but you can't just slap them all together.
It just didn't look realistic. It looks kind of flat, or the clouds are sort of too see-through. So I just hit Command Z a lot.
There's artistry to creating the world.
What I imagine it to be. Unfortunately, I'm not an astronaut. I've never been to space. But I've looked at these images over and over again, trying to sort of get the essence of it. It is photoshopped, but it's has to be. It is photoshopped, but it.
And then right here, he starts poisoning the well by repeating that line.
It has to be, but it's basically a Photoshop where all the images of the actual Earth were stitched together. And you know what? I think it's fair to use the plankton blooms for filling in the depth of where the ocean is. In fact, plankton blooms kind of can be visible from space. So color it in a way. Why not?
It's has to be. It is photoshopped, but it's has to be. It is photoshopped, but
okay, we got it. How many
has
times
to
do
be.
you have to
Yeah.
repeat it?
Yeah, flat earthers seem to have
Why
problems
are all
with
the other planets
context.
now men?
Context is a problem.
Context, scale.
Yes,
Context,
yeah, exactly.
and-
Context and scale are their big
Context,
issues.
skill, perspective, logical
English.
thinking.
English, yeah.
Cognitive skills.
Mm-hmm.
Braining.
Well, I
Braining,
think scale is
yeah.
a big one.
Hey.
No, brainless. I'm talking about braining. They don't. They
Yeah,
don't have one, and they just don't.
Yeah.
Use
See, I don't
it.
blame-
They did.
I don't blame education for failing these flat earthers. I blame them for failing education. They were the kids in school that didn't want to listen. They knew they had to be there, but they didn't want to do anything, apply themselves or anything,
All they did was play video games that
Uh-huh.
were surrounded with aliens. And there you
Right.
go. That's why we're here.
Venus.
Mars, you see, you can tell they're spheres.
When you compare amateur footage done with professional grade cameras and compare it to NASA's official images of planets and stars, it's clear that NASA images are all computer generated. No different.
Oh my fucking
God.
Sorry,
Or
but
NASA images could have been just really close up.
Right. And
No,
they
but
will
like-
say that sometimes they make them look pretty on purpose because nobody
Oh,
wants
we
to look at like this black and white.
We
it
just
depends on
popped
the
into
purpose
the
they're
rocket
using
and
it
we
for.
just shot out and, grabbed the camera and just went click, click, there we go.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
it's
is obviously
lovely.
more close up, right? This is
Fucking
obviously more
hell.
close up.
Interpretations.
Yes.
And notice
And-
the examples that he shows from amateur astronomers. He picked some of the worst ones
They're all
I've
blurry
ever
and
seen.
grainy and right.
Well, and he's saying amateur astronomers with
Within the photo-
professional equipment. But it's like,
Yeah.
I don't think any of them, really had like an observatory with a 50-foot telescope.
Right. Right.
No, but you don't need that shit. Let's see if we can find.
And honestly, if you
Someone
look at
Steve.
some of the NASA ones that are like renderings, or they make them they accentuate the colors and stuff, they'll tell you on the thing itself, the image itself. They're not going to
Yeah.
claim this is the real deal, you know?
Yeah.
the real deal, you know?
It's like this one right here.
Yeah.
This is not what Mercury looks like.
No.
This is basically what minerals are where, and they're using colors.
Yes. They're using
to
colors.
explain
Yeah.
the concentration.
Of Earth.
Those are all artistic renders.
What have become known as planets are round
you know,
lights that seem to be set over the flat Earth.
They'll
This-
say all the planets that NASA puts out, they're all CGI renderings. What do they bring us? Images like this for the flat Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all
kids' drawings,
artist renderings, drawings, you know. So
So-called planets and stars are not what we have been told they are, and comparing luminous objects that you see in the sky to the Earth under your feet is very ineffective for actually proving
No, it's
the
not.
supposed rotundity of the Earth.
No,
Since there are no actual photographs of the Earth, and motion has never been experienced or proven, it would seem more logical for one to assume that we are
Nope.
on a flat, motionless plane,
No.
and everything we
No.
see in the heavens
No.
revolves around us.
no, you have flawed logic. You have flawed logic, dude.
So everything outside of Earth is moving.
Mhm.
Now I know that everything moves,
Mm-hmm.
but wouldn't it be like easier for us to be moving rather than to have an infinitely larger amount of buck ton of stuff
No,
actually
that makes no
rotating around
sense.
us?
You heard him. That makes no sense. It doesn't make sense. Therefore, he has to believe in the one that has
about
all the.
satellites
It still
and
leaves so many
GPS?
questions and explanations to it that they can't explain.
As crazy as it may sound, satellites are a hoax. Have
That's why you can see them regularly orbiting to the very second that the websites like for the ISS tell you
Mhm.
where it's
Yeah.
going to be the very
Mhm.
second.
Yep.
That's
You
why
can't
you're
keep a
using
plane at
technology to make your video.
And they honestly assume that all the satellites are huge, and so you're going to see that if you see it from space, you're going to see all
It's
like
all the
that.
size of the ISS.
Right, or larger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every goddamn satellite in the universe is the size of the state of Connecticut
Or Rhode Island or something like that. Yeah.
Yes.
you ever wondered why there are never any damaged or fallen satellites? And why there are no satellite
Because they burn
malfunctions
up.
due to
In the
constant
atmosphere?
heating and cooling?
I hate to tell
It's
you,
weird they don't
Skylab.
melt in
That
the
I was
did
going
come
to
down
say
the
Skylab
atmosphere.
hit fucking Western
I
Australia,
tell ya.
so
at the moon
Yeah.
and wondering
yeah,
why we never see
exactly.
satellites
When
We
the
fly
know all
over
ISS
Earth.
is
about fucking.
decommissioned,
Did you know
it's going to be
there
coming
are
down from
thousands
the
of
Earth.
miles of fiber optic cables under the seabed that supplies
Oh,
90% of the
Jesus.
Earth's communication, internet, phones, etc. And GPS
Ah,
works off of
Mr.
cell
P.
phone towers. It's called
I hate to tell him, but
triangulation.
we're going to keep
Haven't
using
you seen
underwater
those really
cables for
tall
majority of
towers
it.
and
There's going to be
wondered what
stuff
they
we
are?
need these satellites for.
Satellite TV is just enhanced radio using
Well, and
ground-based
just
towers.
like the plug-in
It's all-
connection is always going to be faster than a
Mhm.
wireless connection.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you're just going to get a cleaner signal when you're
Yeah.
using a cable.
Yep.
Yeah. But
All
also,
ground-based.
like, how does GPS work in the middle of the ocean or the desert
All right.
when you have
Oh,
no
well,
cell reception?
You have those things above your head that orbit because ballistic trajectories are a thing.
No.
Just
I had someone tell me
There's no
there's people say there's buoys out in the ocean. It's like,
prove it.
yeah, show me the
old
buoy,
TV
the communication
antenna.
buoys are all over,
Science
dotted
fiction
all over the
author Arthur
ocean.
C. Clarke proposed the idea.
Yeah, I've heard
of
that
radio
too.
station-
But
Then,
yeah,
then
show
why
me one
why do
that's
you
more
need
than
then why do you need a strong radio
Hmm.
before you're allowed to go?
Someone
out to
actually even
sea?
told me that they get it from the underwater cables that go into water. I'm like, they have
Oh, yeah, we
receivers.
send a
I'm like,
diver down a
so it's
few
transmitting
miles
the
to plug
signal.
into the fucking phone
Yeah.
system.
It's like, so it's transmitting it from the wiring to the ship.
stationary satellites in 1945 in a magazine called Wireless World. And 20 years later, in 1965, they claimed to have successfully launched the first commercial geostationary communication satellite. Today, there are said to be thousands, but the odd thing is that trying to prove it.
Yeah, 25,000 miles away. Those aren't geostationary if they're that.
Look how cluttered they think the sky looks. Or low Earth orbit looks.
That's fact.
That's just showing where they are. That's not how it actually looks from space.
No,
satellites
this is
are
showing
the
the
size
names.
of London.
Right. Right.
It
Yeah,
only
well,
leaves you
again, they
fruitless.
don't get the idea of,
pinpricks.
And has he ever never heard of a satellite
These
phone?
are small, those are far away.
Right.
So yeah, that's okay. You may have a satellite that's the size of your car,
right?
But when it's orbiting thousands of miles above you, it's not going to look that big.
Nope.
That's the images he used.
Is outer space even real?
Yes. The
Yes.
Space Penguin says it is real.
We have one of the Voyager 2 out beyond the solar system now. So yes, it's real.
Hell yeah.
Well, that's why I was wondering about how high up they think heaven is.
Yeah.
Because like Voyager 1 is like something like 15 billion miles from
Yep.
Earth now.
Yep.
And haven't seen any angels.
No.
Heavens just means the heavens out there. The concept of heaven that we're familiar with is actually more related to the Greeks with the cherubs and all that.
Right. And if you think about it, if there is heaven and hell, they're probably more like different dimensions. They're not actual physical places on Earth.
Yeah, but if they're saying that we're actually like under a dome and all that stuff,
right?
It seems they're taking a much more literal interpretation.
And if we are under a dome, why has no one found the dome yet?
Because
That's
the army of super penguins guard it. Don't you know?
But it makes sense, with all our technology. What is this? Where is it? What is it made out of? We would know all this by now, right?
Yes.
Yep.
We would have dug a hole through it.
Yes and no. What you see in the sky, as far as stars and wandering stars, also known as planets, are there. How could we deny them? We don't know what they actually are, but they are there. Now, what we are told about outer space and what it is not true at all. Everything we believe about so-called outer space is due mostly to Hollywood movies and other media, including children's cartoons. Of course, NASA propaganda is the biggest culprit.
Wow.
As we have already gone over, there are no pictures of Earth, and even images of all the other so-called planets are computer-generated. NASA has gone on record numerous times stating that humans can't get past low Earth orbit.
No, they have said that, but not. But he doesn't. The context. He's taking away the context of that.
The context.
Well,
well, it's somebody only looking for something they want to hear. That's the problem.
Yeah, and they're saying humans can't get past it. It doesn't mean that we haven't sent robots far past it.
Right.
Oh, but we'll just ignore that part.
But we've been past low Earth orbit. We've been to the moon.
Yeah, but I mean, like that we sent robot landers to Mars and Venus.
True.
They're talking about the radiation, and thing is, electronics, like in the 1960s and 70s, the components were a lot bigger and a lot less susceptible.
Where digital is not.
Do you forget the moon's a hologram?
Thank you, son. My son just said, "Do you forget the moon's a hologram?"
Of course it is. Of course it is.
They've heard me enough on these things. They know all of them too.
Now, like, interesting thing, right?
if you live under an X-ray machine,
right?
You're gonna eventually get radiation poisoning.
That's true.
But
No.
if you just take
it'll
an
be fine.
X-ray and you're done with it, then you're golden because it's like not that much if you don't sit under it forever.
It's just a second or two, and that's it. That's all you're getting is a second or two.
Okay,
Yeah.
how do we know that was your son? I suspect that's your government handler who was
Oh, that's
prying
my
into
government
the
handler.
lines.
Okay. Yes, I have my own man in
NASA's
my own
next
man in black living
spacecraft,
here.
already being built and tested across America, will do those things and more.
This is the spacecraft that's going to take humans to explore the solar system. It's the next big step for NASA in exploration.
Called the Orion Multipurpose Crew Vehicle, or MPCV, this next-generation spacecraft will enable America to explore beyond low Earth orbit.
The other thing, too, that I love when they talk about NASA is it means never a straight answer. We can't trust anything they say. Yet, they'll bring up those documents that all the flat earthers love, claiming flat and stationary Earth. It's like you can't have your cake and eat it, too. Just saying. Yeah. Even a P900 destroys their claims.
Yeah,
exactly.
But apparently,
I
P900
wonder-
you can't get them. It's 950.
I wonder if they're going to talk about how the NASA in Hebrew means lies.
I
and
think he does
NASA
at one point because I
in
did cover
Hebrew-
this. Mm-hmm.
And NASA in Hebrew means to lift or elevate. Now,
Lift
that-
up.
that's,
Yeah, it means to lift up. Yeah, yeah.
As we get further away from Earth, we'll pass through the Van Allen belts, an area of dangerous radiation. But Orion has protection. Shielding will be put to the test as the vehicle cuts through the waves of radiation.
protection.
Sensors aboard will record radiation levels for scientists to study. We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space.
Yeah, radiation,
plan
all
that
that
NASA
horrible
has
radiation.
is to build a rocket called SLS, which is a heavy lift rocket. It's something that is much bigger than what we have today, and it will be able to launch the Orion capsule with humans on board, as well as landers or other components to destinations beyond Earth orbit. Right now, we only can fly in Earth orbit. That's the farthest that we can go. And this new system that we're building is going to allow us to go beyond and hopefully take humans into the solar system to explore. So the moon, Mars, asteroids, there's a lot of destinations that we could go to, and we're building these building block components in order to allow us to do that eventually.
And unlike the previous program, we are setting a course with specific and achievable milestones. Early in the next decade, a set of crewed flights will test and prove the systems required for exploration beyond low Earth orbit.
Low Earth orbit is supposedly between 99 and 1,200 miles away. The funny thing is that they say the moon is over 200,000 miles away. How did we make it so far in the 1960s and 70s if we can't do it today? Also, the International Space Station, just like everything else brought to us by NASA, is a fake Freemasonic hoax, completely fabricated and done with special effects, models, pools, zero-G planes, and various other camera tricks.
Then why can't you see it go in front of the moon?
Yeah, I think he forgot that Jaron actually shot the ISS with his own camera.
Yes, exactly.
Very easily.
Well, this is
you can
before that, I
travel
think.
east and west directions to ultimately end up right back where you started. The face of the Earth looks similar to that of a clock. In fact, clocks were most likely designed after the true appearance of our world. If you follow a compass east for long enough, you'll make a full circuit. Same thing if you travel west long enough.
If
As
a
we've
clock
already
was
gone
based
over,
on that,
the flat
then-
Earth map that was around before globes
then
were easily
the hour
converts
hand
to a
would go
globe.
15 degrees
So
per
everything
hour.
you believe
Yeah.
you are doing on a globe is actually taking place on a flat Earth.
No.
No,
it isn't.
Everything you think is going on a flat Earth is actually happening on the globe. Oh. It's hurting my microchips.
How come the moon is upside down in the southern hemisphere?
Yeah.
Well, how come if you travel east or west far enough, you wind up back where you started?
Right.
Well, that's what. Well, that's technically also what happens on the Flurf model. But
yeah, but
The
the way
thing
his
is-
arrows were going, it
Yeah.
was the wrong way.
Yep. The thing is,
You
if I
get
were
to
to
the top and you fly back to the bottom somehow to go the other way. It was
Oh, an
very
interesting
confusing.
thing. If it's nighttime and you go outside and you look at the moon, the orientation of the moon will directly correlate to your latitude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which would only happen on a ball.
And see, the thing is I've seen the moon rise up from the east near where I live, and I've taken my son to work early in the morning. That moon is in a different orientation.
Yep.
From the east to the west.
Well, and the same thing with the sun, that if you're
Mhm.
setting up solar panels, you have to set them at an angle equal to your
Yes.
latitude.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So it's interesting how that works.
This is another very simple explanation. When somebody is in the northern part of the Earth, or on the northern part
You really
of the
said
Earth,
northern.
they see the moon from this angle. When somebody is on the southern
Hence my complaint that flat earthers cannot English.
part of the Earth, the moon looks like this. They're looking at it from this angle.
No.
They see it from the opposite
different
angle.
side.
all it
That's
is.
not. That you would see a completely different side of
People in the very southern hemisphere, in the southern around Antarctica, on that map would see the backside of the moon.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Not the same side upside
They would
down.
never see the front side of the moon. They always see the backside of the moon. They would
And
never
yet
have a
if you
full
look at
moon
it
either.
with telescope, it's always the same craters.
Yeah.
But does the moon have a nice backside?
Ooh, wouldn't you
I
like
think
to know?
so.
Mm-hmm.
Because
But they would never see a full moon either. Now, would they always be the dark side of the moon for them down there too, right?
No, there is no dark side of the moon.
Or the backside. You know what I'm talking about?
Tape a picture
be
of the
shadowed.
moon in the center of your living room, right? Depending on where you are in the room, the moon will be seen differently. When pondering this question, keep in mind that the face of the moon never changes. On a spherical Earth, we'd expect to see other sides, but we never have.
But the diagram they gave us, you would expect for everyone to see a different side depending upon where they were.
Yeah.
And they'd all see different phases as well too,
Hmm.
depending on where you were on your planet, right?
Well, unless in their model it's a flat moon and a flat sun.
But then you'd see
And
it
they're
that
just
oval when it
discs
goes
in the
away.
sky. I don't
Well,
know.
the oval
If
at
the
some
moon
point,
is
though,
actually
right?
a light source and not
Yes.
reflecting it, why do we even have phases?
Exactly.
Shouldn't
This
it always
is
be a
true.
full circle if it's
And why-
emitting
Should
its
always
own
be a
light?
full circle, but some people
Basically-
say as it's waxing or waning, it's either recharging or it's losing its charge.
Hmm.
Oh my god.
Exactly.
Hi, Sydney.
But
So
also,
what's charging the
Hi,
moon then,
Sydney.
right? Hi,
Yeah,
Sydney.
so then how
Hello,
does it wind up
penguin.
charging up again every month?
I know. There's so many. It takes so many more
Oh
questions.
no, they're the
and answers
angels,
for
and they
flat Earth
come and
models.
change the batteries.
yeah,
That's
but
what the
also,
ISS is for, right? They're there
Exactly,
to clean the dome,
battery
clean the dome and
exchange.
keep the light,
But-
keep the lights of the moon on.
but if the moon generates light, why are there shadows on the surface of the moon?
Yeah, where the craters have shadows, exactly.
What about the seasons?
The sun is close and small, and it circles around and above the flat Earth in a spiral pattern on the Tropic of Cancer in the northern summer months, and then down in the Tropic of Capricorn in the northern winter months. So when the sun is further away from the North Pole, right, the center of the flat Earth, it's winter in the north and
And if you notice, the sun and moon never get
Conservation-
even close to each other. They're always the same distance away.
Yeah.
And conservation of linear momentum, right?
Yeah.
So for the days to remain longer during winter in the southern, for the days to remain the same length, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The sun has to move faster.
Yes.
Linearly, and then when it comes inward, it has to start moving slower. But when you're a figure skater and you put your arms out, you move slower. And when you bring your mass
Arms in,
closer
you
to
move
the
faster.
center.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
So explain.
Hi, Jinx.
Hi, Jen.
Hi, Jinx. How you doing?
Summer in the south. Since the sun is smaller than we are told and closer, it makes much more sense that we experience seasons in the
Oh,
first place.
you see this moves
If
the
the
sun
sun
getting
was
closer now.
93
Oh my God,
million
they're
miles
colliding.
away and had a radius of over 400,000 miles, we would hardly experience temperature fluctuation as we do.
Well, we actually
Is this
like
dude shit?
If the sun were small and local, we wouldn't have the massive temperature change like we do now. Think about it.
The closer, the weaker the source is, and the closer it is, the greater the change over the distance.
And why is it
Like-
why? Oh my God! Why would summertime in the southern hemisphere you're getting the same heat around, South Africa, South America, south of South America regions, Australia? You're getting the same heat temperatures, but if they're on that spiral, they would be getting cold in the. You know what I mean? It's
Wait a minute. So they're
that big
saying,
humongous
okay,
circle, right?
did they just say that the sun goes around the outside edge of the earth and then goes more in towards the center?
Yes, that's how that
So
works.
when that happens, as the seasons change, does the sun slow down? Because if it stayed at the same
The sun would have to
their
speed up
days
if we're
would
on the
change.
outside. Yeah, if we're on the outside,
Their
it has
days
to
would
speed up drastically,
right
to keep the same 15
Yeah,
degree
when
shift
it's
per
southern-
hour.
when it's
Right, but that's
summer in
not
the
what they
southern
showed. They
hemisphere,
showed
it's got to be moving faster.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. They showed the center one as it was going more in, it was moving quicker, which is what would happen if it's if it stayed at the same speed.
Right.
Of course, you get more revolutions. So then when they're in the height of summer in the north, does that mean that their days are like really quick?
The sun has to go majorly slower.
I mean,
keep
my
that
God,
same-
their days would be only like what?
Yeah, you're
4
right
or
though. They
5
have to go
hours
really
long?
fast.
Yeah.
Right. Have to
Well,
go
yeah.
exactly.
Unless the sun is actually fixed in position and the entire Earth is like a record
about
player
gravity?
spinning.
But they claim that the
you
Earth
just
is
gave them an idea now.
You did.
No, because then you would feel the rotation of the Earth.
Yeah.
I'm sure if I bothered to take notes, we could put together something that'd be a lot more interesting than any of them. have
What is
come
it?
up with.
Somebody said that if the flat Earth did spin, people at the outer edges would be like going sideways from the centrifugal force.
It'll be like on a
No,
roundabout,
that's
flying.
They'd be like almost sideways.
So was that also with the gravity?
Yeah, if there was gravity, yeah.
Oh.
Well, Gene Hughes says Terry Pratchett figured out how
Gravity is
day
necessary
length worked
in
on a
order
flat
for a
Earth in his
spinning ball
Discworld series.
Earth.
Light is just lazy.
Yes.
Yeah, we did that, Jinx. We
People
figured how they
readily
explain
believe
night
that
on a
you
flat
can't
Earth.
fall off of a
Photons are just like,
spinning
oh, I'm
ball.
tired, and just plummet to the ground, and thus we have night.
I do that
That's
at work all the
darting
time.
Yeah.
in
See, this
outer
is where they
space
get
at
the
speeds
going
that
up
you
from,
can't
and that's
even
not how that
comprehend.
works.
Yet they will deny how much easier it is to stay on a flat surface that doesn't move. Gravity is a scapegoat for all that cannot be explained, and it has never been proven. The reason why things fall or float is because of density and buoyancy.
Oh, I love those. The density columns, because if you're in a if you're in a 0G flight and you shake them up, they don't separate.
I've seen that one where they claim the guy's shaking up the bottle as they go into 0G, but he doesn't. You can tell he's not shaking anything. He just holds it, and it all of a sudden it just mixes together under 0G.
Well, and if it's density, why does it always fall toward the ground?
Right, why down?
And
exactly.
why is the density buoyancy formula requiring a G?
Yes.
Hey, because everybody needs a G in their life, man.
A little G.
Top G.
Yo.
Gotta be top G.
Yo.
Bit of G.
Like the whitest guy in the room says that.
If something is heavier than air, it falls. If it's lighter than air, it floats. Very straightforward. Your phone is denser than the air, therefore it falls when you drop it. Everything works by air.
You know, it's funny. Explain helium balloons. Why? That's a conundrum because the helium is lighter than air, but yet the balloon's denser than air. So why does the balloon not go down?
Yeah.
Density. No need to factor in imaginary components. Quote, the law of gravitation is said by the advocates of the Newtonian system of astronomy to be the
Bless his heart. Cosmogony, excuse me.
Discovery of science and the foundation of the whole of modern astronomy. If, therefore, it can be shown that gravitation is a pure assumption and an imagination of the mind only, that it has no existence outside of the brains of its expounders and advocates, the whole of the hypotheses of this modern so-called science fall to the ground as flat as the surface of the ocean.
The modern over 100-year-old debunked bullshit.
Yeah.
So, sorry guys, but I'm not hungry, so I don't need a word salad.
I know.
Okay, come on. It's the best word salad ever.
If it's all about density, how does a 50-ton aircraft fly?
Right.
Obviously got a lot of bullshit sauce on it as well.
I just read there's can't remember who it was. They want to put in low Earth orbit, put a something like LIGO, but in low Earth orbit to detect gravity waves off the Earth.
Oh, that'd be quite cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Then they're gonna be complaining like, oh, they're making the black hole. They're making
Act of all sciences, this wonderful feat of the intellect becomes at once the most ridiculous
superstition it's an acceptable risk.
And the most gigantic imposture to which ignorance and credulity could ever be exposed. Thomas Winship, Zetetic Cosmogony.
I love all the evidence they're finding to support their narrative.
What about the Coriolis effect? Yes, we have one.
Yes.
End of story. There we go. Next.
Coriolis effect is a result of the Earth spinning and is responsible for the deflection of an object moving above the Earth, rightward in the northern hemisphere and leftward in the southern hemisphere. The problem is that things like hurricanes and water in the sink aren't always predictable and have been known to spin both ways in either hemisphere.
That has nothing to do with Coriolis, dude.
The
Sorry.
Coriolis effect false is the fact that no flying machine above the Earth has to account for it.
Smarter Every Day and Veritasium. They actually both did a video simultaneously where they did that experiment where they actually did not disturb the water.
Yeah.
It worked.
Also, if you look at the images of the Earth where the clouds are on it, if you look near the equator, the clouds are pretty much almost in a straight line.
Yeah, and
you ever noticed that?
A tornado will never cross the
hurricanes cannot cross the equator.
Yeah. Sorry. Hey, it's late.
Okay. That's okay. But I noticed that with a lot of the things you look, it's more of a straight cloud formations on the equator. When you look at the globes, the thing of the globes.
Yep.
Why is that?
Well,
because they're traveling at pretty much the maximum speed, and then as they go further north or further south, the momentum that mass had is now causing them to go a little bit forward, which is causing the entire system to start curling a little bit. It's creating, it's not a forceness, it's an emergent.
Yeah, it's an emergent force, right.
And
if
for
a bullet
the
that travels
Coriolis effect, there was a little matter of the Battle of the River Plate.
Lisa, thank you, Mr. B. The Lisa, yeah. That's what I was talking about up in space antenna up in the low Earth orbit.
Oh, yeah, where a Navy basically calibrated everything for the wrong hemisphere.
No, just when the British cruisers were chasing down a German pocket battleship, and the British couldn't land a hit on it.
Oh, that's right.
One of the gunners remembered that since they were in the southern hemisphere, they had to use a negative value for the Coriolis effect.
Yep. Yeah.
1,700 miles per hour has to.
Joey Jones is just put.
And then the other thing he's equating with a bullet versus a helicopter or a plane. Bullets don't have engines. Bullets don't have any. They just, as soon as they're fired, that's it. They just go.
Yeah, they're just coasting.
The resistance, and everything happens. Planes and helicopters don't have that issue. They got engines.
You mean you can steer your plane so that the Coriolis force can be constantly corrected for, even subconsciously?
Yeah.
And the stupid thing is, like, then they say, like, oh, how are you gonna land your plane on a rotating surface?
Like north and south, right? If you go north and south, you can't landing.
The influence of wind, sideways wind, is like magnitudes stronger than the Coriolis effect.
Right.
So it's so
wind
minimal.
is an issue.
And also, like, you're already going the same direction.
But they bring bullets up every time. It's just like, seriously, oh my God, just.
Oh, and then like in the Discord server, Tiny Captain was arguing. Tiny Captain was talking about how he was arguing with a Flurf over a sextant. And somehow the Flurf believed that him having to basically adjust a sniper scope had something to do with celestial navigation. So it's not just this. It's everything has to do with bullets with those people.
When you look for the answer, you'll find that we are told that since the atmosphere moves with the spin of the Earth, planes aren't affected. So why would bullets be? Especially when they go much faster than common.
Because you can steer them. The planes, that is.
Airplanes.
Why can't I see infinitely far?
Because light is lazy.
Because it's a globe?
This is for the people that wonder why they can't see certain things that they believe they should be able to see if the Earth was flat. I've been asked on numerous occasions, why can't I see Mount Everest from anywhere on Earth?
I got a question. So I'm 10 miles away from Manhattan, driving on the highway towards New York City. Why can't, if we're living on the fucking flat Earth, why can't I actually see the really, really tall buildings?
Right.
Come on, I'm in New Jersey. I can't, I'm just entering Newark, New Jersey. Why can't I see those fucking buildings? I should be able to.
I've also been asked, why can't I see Spain from the east coast of America? Well, besides dirt, dust, dew, rain, fog, smog, smoke, clouds, mist, haze, snow,
Bullshit,
etc.,
bullshit, bullshit,
your
and
vision
bullshit,
is limited by
and
the
bullshit,
vanishing
and
point of
bullshit,
your
and bullshit.
perception. Check your weather
And
app on
bullshit.
your phone and notice the visibility in your area.
Slight problem with that whole limited vision thing.
Yeah.
I did the math. A P1000 Nikon P1000 at max optical zoom from Boston Harbor should be able to see Ireland, and in a 16 megapixel full resolution photo, the mountain in Ireland on the east coast, on the west coast of Ireland, should be about 50 pixels tall.
Same with me. I live not an hour away from the Sierra Nevada mountains. Yet on a clear day, I mean, granted here we get haze and stuff in the valley, but on a clear day, I can only see the tops of those mountains in the distance.
Well, and he was showing a picture there of a road or a highway, you know, and how did they explain that? Why didn't the two sides of the road remain parallel? Why do they basically form a triangle as you're looking off in the distance?
Is the flat earth a religious thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fuck no. Yes and no. Yes and no. The Bible does not back up the flat earth. The only passages that you can cite for it now is Isaiah 40, the circle of the earth. But what happens if you're standing on a sphere and you're on a really tall mountain and you have a horizon? You can see a circle. And what is but a earth? A three-dimensional, you know, just circles on top of circles.
I do
on top
counter
of
in a way.
circles.
Flat Earth in and of itself to me is religion because it's all based on belief.
Yep. It's all on faith because
It's all on faith.
Believing it regardless of what the evidence shows you.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it is and it isn't, because the book actually doesn't, like, you know, when you get into the language, it really does not say earth be flat.
Oh, I'm not
But
saying
you're
anything
right.
about the Bible. The Bible's completely out of this. Flat Earth itself is a religion.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a
But they
separate
just use
cult
the
into itself.
Bible as their supporting evidence, so to speak. When there's
There's no evidence in the Bible.
But then they claim that science is a religion when there's plenty of things to back up what's you know, what there's no belief, no blind faith there. There's things to
So
back it up. Unlike
the
their
claim that-
version.
The claim that science is a religion, right?
Yeah.
Let's ask ourselves, why would all these brilliant scientists, like at the dawn of the age of discovery and when we started industrializing, why would Charles Darwin, unless there was, again, less evidence then, but enough evidence for him to suggest the theory of evolution,
Right.
enough evidence for him, why would he put himself out socially?
Right.
Unless he
Yeah.
believed that there was actual evidence. Why would all these scientists basically cause social and religious and all this hell for themselves over nothing?
All this debate, yeah.
Well, and like this Bladler conspiracy that they're hiding it, it's like, okay, how has this continued to go on for, 5 or 10 centuries?
Yeah.
Without anybody leaking it?
And they do claim that
Eratosthenes?
the globe Earth is they're hiding God. It's like they're doing a real bad job if they're hiding God. Just
Yeah, like
why am I seeing
probably
churches on every
90%.
street corner in my city? if that's
90%.
hiding God.
Probably
Adelaide's called the
somewhere
city of
around there is
churches.
religious.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, if you want to look at it from a religious aspect or spiritual aspect, and there are some astronomers and astrophysicists and such that do hold those feelings.
Yeah, those feelings, yeah.
What we see and what we have discovered through science proves that there is something greater.
Right.
And that's their approach. And it's kind of hard to argue with it when you look at it from a spiritual aspect.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what God would you rather serve, right? If you're going to get religious, a God that created a 10,000 kilometer diameter pancake pizza world where we're all in a fucking zoo
Right.
and there's a fishbowl dome and that's fucking it, or a God that created an infinite universe of beautiful wonders. Come
Right.
on, Flurfs.
Yeah.
And actually, if anything, if you go through some of the passages in the Bible, flat earthers are technically heretics because it
Yes.
says that it's a sin to deny the creation wonders of God.
And the other thing too is they argue so strongly, and how can you? They're missing the entire beautifulness, entire wonder and beauty of the universe. Instead of looking at it and going, "Oh my God, this is awesome," they're going, that's fake.
Yeah, they sort of conveniently forget that God is actually, like a genocidal maniac. He's,
Yes.
I'd
many worlds has
love to
pretty
go
much-
and, worship someone that's a genocidal maniac.
I mean, if you look back at the Bible and that belief, how many worlds has God destroyed and remade?
There you go.
Like, what version of Earth are we on, if that's the case, right?
Yep. There you
Well,
go.
I equate it to a video game. God's the user, we're the NPCs. He's like, nah, I don't like the way the game's gone. Reset.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it is.
Mippy, you forgot part of that. It's a narcissistic genocidal god.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Mippet, are you saying you wouldn't want to be in a relationship with somebody says, love me or I'll burn you to death?
Right.
No, that
Love
might
you,
be
loving
quite
consequences.
fun.
Something like that.
I mean, I am a dragon, so
that's true. Oh, that's true.
could
Yeah.
be quite interesting.
Yeah.
That just
Well,
might
you've
be
got
kinky
fireproof
sex for
skin,
Mippet.
so
That's true.
It's the genocidal maniac.
This is the very thing of God says, love me, do what I say, or there's going to be consequences. That's what abusers do, correct?
Absolutely.
No.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
Sounds like a
like
cult
my ex.
leader to me.
Luckily, no.
Okay, VBAS.
Yeah.
Yes and no. I say this because I myself am not religious. I'd rather not have faith.
You
Oh,
got
fuck you
religion.
are.
Not religious,
are-
but has repeatedly cited
But use
religion.
Mhm, but use
Yeah.
it. That's, yeah.
Blasphemy. Literally.
Mhm.
In something, but know the facts to the best of my ability. And the facts are that the curvature
It's not very good ability if that's the case.
Oh, there's something in me is just seeing just a wee bit of curvature.
Know the facts to the best of my ability. Yeah,
and motion
you're not
of the
able to do
earth
much,
have
are
never
you?
been proven.
Well,
The
you're a
Bible,
rapper.
without any doubt whatsoever, supports the earth. That's
Yeah, it's
fixed
going.
in
It's
place.
going. It's
The
wobbling.
Book of Enoch, which is biblically endorsed and most likely belongs.
And
Book
the
of Enoch.
curvature seems to be changing based on the angle.
The angle.
So they're
Yes, it does.
correcting.
You can see it.
Lovely.
You can see it. Yep.
Yep.
And the Book of Enoch, right? Here's what my rabbi said about the Book of Enoch.
Okay.
It's like a fucking acid trip.
How many other books
It's
are out there
weird.
that contradict the books that we know? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I've read the book of Rael, which is like Raelianism. Have
Right.
you ever heard of that?
I've
That's
heard of alienism. Mhm.
holy shit, man. That's like that is way out there. And that's like aliens but it's like all the different gods are like aliens and they seeded the world, but there's
Yeah.
3 different earths and
Is that where the
it's
star
basically
feeders come
they're going
from?
to
Is it the same
decide
thing?
are going to decide which earth is the best, and the other 2 are just going to get exploded. So
Is that where the star seeders come from?
I'm not sure.
Wait,
Could be.
Wait. So the other 2 already exploded, or
I don't know.
because if that's the case, then I'm like
I
thinking,
wanna
like,
move there.
How how bad were the other two?
If you think about it, it's like Mormonism, LDS. They believe there's three different. When you die, there's three different Earths you may go to.
Heaven.
There's like the Earth, the heaven Earth. There's the Earth like we have now, where you still serve the Lord and do missionary work and all that stuff. Then there's
so this
the
is
Earth.
purgatory, okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
Then there's the Earth, the purgatory, right? Then there's the Earth that's like hell, but hell to them is not literal burning fire and brimstone. It's you're cut off from God. So no matter how much you cry and pray and for God to help you, He's not there to listen.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, hot shit.
I want that
Bastards
one.
Finally stop looking at us.
And also I'm still waiting for the rapture. Like,
yeah,
come on, fucker, take all those fuckers with you.
I know,
Give us some
right?
fucking
I'm
peace.
so waiting. If God's
all those
really, yes,
fucking
please
bigots
take all the idiots off of the earth for us
those
so we can
bigots.
all live in peace. Thank you.
that would leave very few
Amen.
people on Earth. I hate to tell
Those
you.
idiots.
Fine, leave me
Those
here
idiots. Those idiots who want to ignite the Armageddon because they think they're going to be spirited off to
Yes.
paradise, and where they're going to sit above the circle of the earth and then laugh at all them sinners. And it's like, what kind of sociopath are you that you would want to sit there and laugh at people's stuff? Number one, you want to set the world on fire. And number two, you want to sit there and laugh at other people's misery.
Right.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like religion, my mother's a Christian and goes to church, and I've had no problem. But she believes in science. She doesn't believe in
majority of your Christians,
horrible.
Religious Christians or whatever, they all believe in science.
Well, a
It's
lot
that
of scientists
teeny-weeny
and things are,
minority
you
that
know,
doesn't.
various religions. It's not. Yeah.
You know, I mean, I look at Kyle Adams. He's a Mormon, but he believes the Earth is flat.
Well, and again with the technology of, how much of their scientific equipment simply wouldn't work if gravity doesn't work the way we think it does.
Right.
Yeah, the speed of light.
There would be no
if we didn't know
technology.
that,
We'd be
there'd
living
be
back
no.
in the caveman days.
You know what? I was just thinking, like
If
with
they
the
had their
rapture,
way.
like all the righteous people will be taken up to heaven.
Right.
What if that is like all the nice non-violent atheists are brought up to like a wonderful place, and all the Christians are left? Oh, that would.
Well, the other thing that blows my mind with some of these people is they think that the reason why the world is the way it is now is because of the globe is being pushed on people. As if everybody was raised to believe in the flat Earth, we'd have this. Cats and dogs would live together, peace and peace, love, and understanding, a perfect utopia. There'd be no crime. There'd be no. Everybody would just love one another, and it'd be more like
They're
one
the
big hippie
fuckers that
commune.
do the crime. I mean, they all sit on fucking streams, smoking crap and fucking shooting up. What the fuck?
Okay,
I'm
there's-
sorry.
I've heard
There's like,
some
what,
say that.
five or
It's
They're the ones that end up in jail. I mean,
It's just like,
There's
are
like-
you telling me that because there's one factor they're forgetting is humans?
I mean, what? There's like
What
5 or
does
6
this-
different flat Earth camps that are
Yeah.
at each other's throats all the
Exactly.
time.
They're constantly fighting all the time. All the time.
Well, screw that flat earther. You want to be my kind of flat earther.
Right.
Yeah.
But you believe this? Oh, you're so stupid. And oh, how dare you?
Next
How
time,
dare you?
next time we do this, please someone remind me to go to Ranty's. I forget what Ranty's channel is, but he's got some wonderful
the absurd.
videos of auditing the absurd. But he's got some wonderful videos about how vicious the flat earthers are to each other.
Because he
Oh,
was
yeah.
in there, especially on Nathan Oakley's front.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
my
Oh,
God.
fucking hell!
Mm.
Such a
It's amazing.
Nathan Oakley's cesspool of grossness.
I mean, they just got rid of Arwen. So what does that tell you?
Arwen's a little git who was sitting there basically talking about how when Putin won, we'd all be murdered, and
Right.
he's sitting. Where does he live? He lives
He's
somewhere
in the Netherlands somewhere. He's in the he's Dutch. He's Dutch. Yeah, see, brainless nose.
Hey, don't shame
Brainless
me
nose.
for him living here.
We're not shaming you. We're just saying he's Dutch. That's all we're saying.
Yeah.
Every time I've seen him, I've seen him on or heard other people cover him on like Nathan Oakley stuff. He's like the butt of their jokes. He's just on there just for them to crap all over.
Yeah,
And he sits there and he takes it.
Because so many flat earthers, globe people won't go in there.
Yeah.
Because Nathan's a dick.
Yeah.
So yeah, they just shit all over Arwen.
They shit all over Arwen. And he would sit there and take it.
Yeah.
And we told him when he was on Mr. Sensibles one time, come on over to us. We won't treat you like that. We're not like that. You
can put your point
he
forward.
Didn't care. He didn't
and
care.
You're not gonna.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it gives him a name, which gets him subscribers. So he's making money.
But then he bitches about not getting enough money and subscribers, though. So I don't know.
And then when he gets a donation, then all of a sudden he's not quitting and he's not insulting people anymore.
Yep.
Until the next stream.
Right.
Flat stationary enclosed Earth in great detail. Many religions and civilizations preceding Judaism and Christianity support a flat and stationary Earth.
No, they don't.
And let's go back to the argument, the wisdom of the ancients, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the Egyptians were smart in that they probably figured out trigonometry even before the Greeks did, or at least something close to it.
Right.
A way to work things close to it. Now, that doesn't change the fact that they thought Sobek, who was a half human, half crocodile, was literally the god of fucking sperm.
Right.
So just because they had a few things right doesn't mean they got everything right. Just saying.
Yes.
Well, even in the modern context, it's really weird. It's the flat earthers love to use the whole, laws of thermodynamics and stuff like that.
Right.
Now, what's an interesting aspect in history is steam engines were perfected before the law of thermodynamics was even written.
Yes, we
didn't even know how steam engines actually worked until almost 100 years later.
Wow. But yet somehow they worked.
Yeah.
And let's go back to the laws of thermodynamics with the flat earth dome and a sun producing an infinite amount of energy forever inside an atmosphere. Why are we not all burning alive?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it is 30. Hang on, let me just have a look. I'm 37 or something going to be today. Let's see. It's 34 degrees already. There we go. We're going to have a nice day
very
today.
hot. That's hot. Yeah.
No, it's pleasant day.
Well, pleasant. Okay. And for me right
It's
now,
about
it's
bloody
12 degrees
time.
Celsius.
You know.
How could that be? Why is it so cold here?
Well, and the sun came up at around 6 and it hasn't been going down until, 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Right.
So, it's this sun business is a bit of a shock.
Yeah.
42.
It's almost like the rays of the sun are hitting you in Australia more directly.
Exactly.
Yeah, more
than
straight
they
on.
are with us. But for that to happen,
Straight
right?
on.
Well, it is your daytime, but let's ignore that because the overall, the overall temperature is still greater It must be because the angle of the sun rays aren't
Right.
hitting us as straight on, right? In the northern
Right.
hemisphere.
I'm
Well,
not having a problem
if
here.
we
'Cause
were
Mika
under-
says it's about 34 degrees where she is, and it's about 34 degrees where I am. So
Celsius. So
We're talking Celsius. But the
Oh,
thing
you
is,
do
is
that
if
freedom
stupid
units.
thing over there. You stupid freedom unit.
the thing is, if we're under a dome, and the sun, even if the sun were small, look, we're under a dome. Why would we? The sun would be. It would be the heat would be all over, right? Because the heat would have nowhere to go.
It'd also be hotter on tops of
Condensation, We'd have
mountains.
everything, right? Yeah. The
Yeah.
tops of mountains would be very hot. Mount Everest on the top would be really hot.
Oh, and the fact that we'd all, like
Mhm.
suffocate to death would be a
Right.
problem too.
Yeah.
No,
So
that is not necessary because you'd still have the trees inside of the
We still have
dome,
things
so
making
you
oxygen, true.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
you could live in a glass bubble as long as
Yeah.
you got plants and shit with you. So
yeah, but you
And
wouldn't have snow
34
caps on the high
degrees.
mountains.
And you wouldn't have snow on the high mountains.
Oh,
and
hell
you
no.
and you wouldn't have clouds, very high clouds either.
And 34 degrees Celsius is 93.2 degrees in freedom units.
Okay.
It's toasty.
That's my summer here, pretty much.
Yep, and
Such as the
34 degrees Fahrenheit is just barely above freezing point.
Mm-hmm.
Babylonians,
Yeah, you
the
can keep that shit for yourself.
Egyptians, the Mayans, the Norse, the Hindus.
Look, all the
etc.
cartoons. Oh
this
my God.
fantastic spinning globe
Where are
that's
the
very
photos?
new to the people of the world.
Right.
Yet most of us carry on as if the theory is unquestionable, and we've been conditioned to laugh when the flat Earth is brought up. Whether you are
Being conditioned.
No.
We've been conditioned. Yes.
Because we
That's
haven't
just
seen a
automatic.
photo. Ooh.
That's just automatic. That's not conditioned.
religious or not, you can see the flat Earth for yourself.
Oh, look at that. Look, it go up and down. Oh, how funny how that works.
Is the
Oh,
Flat Earth
man.
Society behind the resurgence of the Flat Earth?
No, the Flat Earth Society is designed as a containment unit. Gatekeepers that tell the truth about some stuff, but then lie about other things in order to make it appear ridiculous.
Oh, like
a
regular
containment
flippers.
unit? What are you trying to do? Catch ghosts?
Flippers.
Oh, so, yeah, these are the ones that he doesn't agree with, is he?
You know the
This is
history of the Flat Earth Society? It started with Samuel Robotham.
Well,
It wasn't called that, but it was like early history of it, right?
This is the okay.
Like there is a Flat Earth Society online, and that indeed is that is satire.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way that they are correct with that, but yeah.
Then there was that town here in the U.S. in the 30s called, I think, it's Zion, Missouri, where it was all flat Earth people that believe in flat Earth living in it.
Oh, did you guys bomb it?
No,
Like,
I
you
think
guys
it
are so
died
good
out on
at
its
bombing.
own.
Like,
Okay, thank you.
If that was
you
a
could have done
place-
something good with this for a change.
I'm just hoping that we tested a nuke there and
Zion, Illinois. Thank you. I was thinking Missouri. Zion, Illinois. Yes, there it is.
Mark's
Thank you,
actually got a
thank you.
good question above that. Are you saying we could live inside a
Or steer
firmament
you in
because we have plants with us?
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, technically.
Well, that's
Technically,
the
yeah.
way the cycle's
Trees,
supposed
plants.
to work.
Yeah, like a terrarium, I guess.
We got plankton.
Yeah,
Plankton
like,
produces
basically
oxygen.
that is
Yeah.
like what we have now. Only it's not the glass around those that keeps
It's
the atmosphere in,
gravity.
but it's gravity.
Yeah.
It's gravity, right?
So
Direction. For instance, this is what FES has to say about gravity. In the flat Earth model, gravity, rather than being a force, is the upward acceleration of the flat Earth. The Earth
But where we
always
going?
accelerates upward at 1g, which is equivalent to the gravitational acceleration in the round Earth model. Like the force of gravity, the Earth's acceleration causes several commonly observed phenomena in our daily lives.
Okay,
they
now
all
good.
say the stationary Earth.
Yes.
This is not a stationary
No.
fucking
But
Earth.
also,
And what
if the
percentage
whole
of the
Earth,
speed of light are we moving right now? We have to be moving very close to it right now.
That's true.
we probably pass it. No, but also, if the whole Earth goes up the same speed, why are there variations in gravity all over the Earth?
You mean when you go inside of a coal mine, you have the mass above you pulling you up, and the mass
not
below
even
you
that.
pulling you down? Remember the
Not
traveling
even that.
gnome?
There are actually places on Earth where the gravity is just different, and it probably has something to do with how the Earth
stuff
below you
underneath is arranged?
Yes, but there are places where gravity is different.
Yeah.
Okay, but we need a calculation now that if the Earth has been constantly accelerating at the same speed for 2,000 years, how fast are we going relative to the speed of light?
Wait, 5,784 years. Let's not be flat earthers, and let's just try to get our bullshit numbers actually accurate.
Yeah, but I have a problem with this because space doesn't exist. So where are we moving to and in and all that shit?
Yeah. Yeah, there's that too. That how much of a distance in space have we covered since the Earth was formed?
And the thing is, space doesn't exist. So what are we hanging out in? You know, it's just a flat, stationary Earth is all they've ever said. What is this flat, stationary Earth hanging out in? Because space don't exist.
Yeah, and here, if we look at this, why are these differences in gravity all over the world? Why are there spots where it's much less and spots where it's just a lot higher? If the whole Earth is going up at the same speed, or is that bit accelerating slower than the other?
But because it needs to accelerate relative to the other parts, and there's less gravity there over time, it should be moving apart. Should have been moving apart by now, torn itself apart.
Yeah.
If that isn't the biggest turnoff, I don't know what is. The flat Earth argument has never died. It only died down. Real flat earthers have always been among us, but it wasn't until late 2000.
No true Scotsman fallacy.
2014, early 2015, when Eric Dubé started making a lot of noise about the flat Earth conspiracy and got people like myself on board. It took me 10 months of research before finally accepting the truth about where we live. Thanks to the many.
I think Eric Dubé does not believe in the flat Earth.
Eric Dubé believes in a lot of shite. A lot of that stuff that he believes is just a vehicle for him to sell his World War II bad guy nonsense, I think.
Great flat Earth researchers, content creators, and activists since then, more and more people are waking up to the massive deception every day.
No, they're not.
Oh, and of course to grift money off of idiots. That's probably number one.
Oh, about that accelerating at 1G thing. We'd hit about 90% the speed of light in about a year and a couple months.
Okay, so just over 1 year.
Just over 1 year, we'd have already reached the speed of light. So yeah.
So the light that is above us would be scrunched up so much that we'd be bathing in high intensity gamma rays to the point where we shouldn't be alive.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, the firmament protects us from that.
Interesting.
Are all scientists, pilots, and members of the government in on it?
Yes.
No, not all scientists are pilots.
So,
And not all pilots are
I
scientists.
I wish Tiny Captain was here because he definitely needs a globe to navigate. So, are all governments and scientists and everything in on the idea that we live on a globe? Yes. Do any of them believe that we live on a flat, stationary Earth? No.
No, some of them do. Unfortunately, some pilots do. And I don't even know how
They
they
don't
can
remain
be pilots
pilots
and still be a
long.
flat earther. Huh?
I don't think you would remain a pilot very long. I mean, I'd shit can the person before they killed 400 people, 400 passengers flying my airline.
Well,
I mean,
here's
I
the
would
thing
shit
is
can
they go on and talk and they blur their faces out. And don't say their real names and where they work and shit. Yep.
Okay, but again, every government in the world is in on this. Have you
Yeah,
ever
no.
listened
Even the
to a meeting of the
unstable ones?
UN?
Back. How do we
Kept-
know those people are real pilots?
Yeah.
They probably aren't.
If they
Or
weren't,
they're
why would they
not
blur
for
their
very
faces
long.
out?
So people,
And
so
it's
nobody can check if they're pilot.
And it's
Well,
got
no, they literally
all
said that
scientists, all
the only way they were
pilots,
allowed
and
to.
all members of government are in on it. How many millions of scientists, pilots, and members of government are there in the world?
And also go get your pilot license. Then you'll know if you get sworn into the secret society.
Now, I've taken STEM classes. I've got 54 credits towards a mechanical engineering degree, and if I had had like one more semester, I would have graduated. But no one was talking about the secret robes.
No,
Yeah.
that's what you get when you actually get your degree. Like otherwise, anybody can go into that education and like before they get sworn in and like sworn to secrecy, they can just drop out and spill the beans. So obviously, you get that after you're sworn to secrecy, then they'll divulge it to you.
Okay, I had to look this up.
Sorry, but I'm getting way too good at this shit.
I had to look this up just to get an idea for this, of how many government officials are there. And just in the United States, we have 519,682 elected officials.
Yep, and none of them has said a word. What good loyal employees.
Oh, come on. They elected a flat earther in, what was it, Georgia?
But also,
Yeah, well, that's ahead of the local Republican Party there. And
Yep.
she was like, globe, there, globe. I've been meaning to actually make a 3D model of her and have the penguins abduct her. I have so many projects on the back burner.
No, but also like if like the Democrats in America would be like hiding the flat Earth, how big of a heart and what the Republicans get like, ooh, we can expose one of their secrets.
Yeah, well, with any of these international conspiracies, it's like, how did this stay a secret through the Cold War that, Russia or China didn't use it to embarrass the U.S.?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like prove to the American people the earth was flat and therefore you should not trust the capitalists. Oh, interestingly, when I was digging through Rumble for these videos, because like my YouTube searches are never going to give me the good derp because YouTube has already figured out who I am. So I go to Rumble and every flat earth video there's a advertisement for either Newsmax or the orange Jesus known as Trump. So when you said the Democrats hiding the flat earth,
don't you mean inmate P01135809, aka citizen?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
I've got that on my desktop, okay?
No, most scientists, pilots, and members of the government have been indoctrinated just as the rest of us have. When they work at their everyday job, they go about it as if the Earth is most certainly spherical.
That's because they don't want to die.
Yeah, that's
if indeed,
especially pilots, like those pilots and sea captains. Those are the people you gotta look at, because if they use the wrong model, people will die.
Some of these people did know the Earth is flat, they most likely wouldn't even speak out about it in fear of losing their job or ruining their reputation. The average scientist goes about everything they do with the spherical Earth already factored in. For mainstream science, questioning our current model is a huge no-no. For pilots, computers do most of their work, not to take away from what they do because I personally appreciate it, and also pilots often switch out at stops, making it difficult to understand the real layout of Earth's land masses.
This guy's such
As
an
far as
amateur.
government members and
Such an
politicians
amateur.
go, besides
Because
high-ranking
it goes well
officials at
beyond
NASA,
this.
which isn't government at all, it's safe to assume that
It's one of those.
We've been going for some time. Finish what you were going to say.
So, who's in on the conspiracy stuff like that? Okay, for celestial navigation, a nautical mile or mile is not the same linear distance as you travel further south. A ruler would not be the same physical length the further you travel south. Odometers in your car would read different, so it would have to be constantly adjusted depending on where you are from north to south. It's such a long list that literally every living person that's not a flat earther would have to be in on it.
Yeah, and it's one thing for them to say, like, that the computers do most of the work now, but, again, they say this has been going on for, thousands of years. So what about the ships before they had computers?
Yep.
We've been going for about 2 hours now, and that's like the algorithm's happy limit.
Yeah.
It's true. Well, and so it's past 3:00 for me here, so.
Does anyone want to shill anything before we leave?
Well, that will be for me. Would be, it's YouTube channel.
Slim Cyborg.
Slim Living Cyborg. I don't know if you got stuff like that in the description yet. Yeah.
Oh yes, I actually do.
Okay.
So
And then
people,
I also do
because
my-
I've seen some names here that I've not seen before. Like Thursday, Wednesday. Thursday. We usually stream sometimes on Mondays if it's not filming in the weekend.
Right.
We do one this Monday, and on Friday, of course, by Parrot with fun and games. Always fun. Everybody.
Nice. Yeah, I'll be streaming tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
So I'll see you guys all over there. Hint, hint.
Hint, hint.
Great. Yes, I will be there. Unless, of
Lovely.
course, they give me a Frito run, and which case, $600 or YouTube.
Oh, I
Right, right, right.
Are you
Oh,
one
I
of
would
those
definitely
people
pick
who's going to
YouTube.
let real
Fuck
life
that money.
get away if you're
Yeah, who cares about real life?
time?
I shouldn't have said that, but yeah, I'm probably going to be there because they're going to give it to someone else because they already got me for a run at 1:30 a.m.
Oh
So I was
gosh,
just
yeah.
wishful thinking.
Yeah,
1:30
yeah,
a.m. Monday, so they're probably not going to give me a Frito run tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'd like to say thank you to everyone in the chat. Mark, you're always lovely. Mr. B, hi. Jen, love you.
We
V-Bass,
love you all.
thanks for coming. Yeah, we love you all. Love the comments.
Y'all are awesome.
You are all
And we
awesome.
love everyone on the panel too. And I would like to give a very special thanks. This has been a wonderful stream. And there's been new subscribers too. So that's a good
Yay!
thing.
Awesome.
Oh, welcome.
Welcome to the
Yes,
family.
welcome.
Yes,
Welcome
Mark.
to the space station.
Yes.
This stuff grows on
And-
you, much like a fungus.
Yes.
Mhm. And we're like cockroaches because we always keep coming back.
That's right.
And we'd
And
like to
speaking-
initiate you all into the DSA, and you're welcome.
That's right. Mm. Yes, welcome. Welcome your agents now, so welcome.
And
thanks
Don't
for-
forget
will
to,
be in the
sign
mail.
your NDAs on your way out.
Yeah, I guys had the NDA on the way out. Exactly. Mhm.
Wait,
And
weren't we
401
supposed to
thanks.
have to sign that when they came in? Shit.
Well, we forgot. So as long as we do it on the way out, we're okay. You know? Yeah.
Okay, lock the doors. Don't let anybody out until
Right.
we've got all
Don't
the
let 'em out.
signatures.
We got to get the
I'll
the
get to the
penguins,
roof with the
get
rifles.
soldiers
If-
blocking
Don't
the
worry, I
doors,
locked it on the way in.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, if
Thank
anybody
you.
gets out, I'm on the roof with a rifle.
Oh my
Hey,
god,
you
we
all
can
It's
see my
stop this
cool.
practice
conversation now. Say goodbye, everybody.
And,
Goodbye,
everybody.
everybody.
Good night.
Bye,
see
guys.
you next week.
See
We
you next
do hope
week.
to have another one.
Oh yeah.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
out.